Right now at 6, Madison community members are talking about what's next after a teacher is accused of ripping out a girl's braids at Whitehorse Middle School. And a controversial plan to install lights and a sound system at Edgewood High School is moving forward. We will have the latest. Plus, a program in Madison is bringing two unlikely groups together. We'll tell you about the Youth Police Initiative.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 6.
We have had a lot of snow this month, but now rain has moved into southern Wisconsin. Let's get a look at your first alert weather. Dave Caulfield is out on the patio with more. Dave?
Amanda, we had a round of wintry mixed precipitation early this morning, which caused some slick conditions. And this afternoon, we've had some dense fog across southern Wisconsin. Now, the next act of this wild weekend weather moves in the form of some light to moderate rain showers showing up across southern Wisconsin. Temperatures are close to the freezing mark in some spots, so initially, as this round of rain moves in, we could see some freezing drizzle and also some sleet trying to mix in with that rain before temperatures warm up over the next few hours. Now, just to the north and west, some heavy snow affecting portions of Minnesota and Iowa. Platteville, some light rain falling on top of the snow on the ground on the Queen Bee Radio Skycam. Temperatures are right around that freezing mark, but starting to get a little bit warmer just to the south. So, as I mentioned, don't be surprised if we do see just a couple of areas of freezing drizzle mixing in with that light rain early this evening. Wind speeds have started to pick up a little bit out of the east at about 8 to 15 miles per hour, not really gusting all that much, close to 20 to 25 miles per hour across southwestern Wisconsin, but the wind becomes the major story as we head into the day tomorrow. For your day planner, look for temperatures to rise into the upper 30s overnight and then fall pretty quickly through the 30s and 20s into the teens by later on tomorrow. So we'll talk about all the threats we can look forward to over the next few days in your News 3 Now First Alert forecast in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Dave. Parts of some Dane County roads are under standing water due to melting ice and rain. Officials say county, highway, and city crews are all out trying to clear drainage ditches and storm drains of ice and snow that are creating a buildup of excess water and precipitation. They have been clearing about 5,000 drains in low spots around the city. Madison has about 20,000 storm drains in total. Parents and leaders are asking for change after a Madison teacher was accused of pushing an 11-year-old girl and pulling out her braids at Whitehorse Middle School. The incident prompted a community discussion this morning. Our Madeline O'Neill has more on the meeting and what comes next. Maddie.
Well, Amanda, this Whitehorse incident is getting a lot of attention, but the Black community says this is far from the first time Black students have been mistreated at school. In the past year, multiple Madison teachers have been removed from the classroom for using racial slurs. About 150 people, including parents and educators, showed up to a community discussion at the Boys and Girls Club this morning, talking about what can be done.
We're demanding, we're asking you to protect our kids.
Change can start with a conversation.
So it's very collaborative, very emotional. But also, I think folks were sort of like fed up.
Fed up, not just from the incident at Whitehorse Middle School that left a teacher on leave, while officials investigate claims he pulled out an 11-year-old girl's braids.
We just have to do better as a community.
Fed up from the stories of other Black students mistreated at school piling up.
It's still very hard. The wounds are still very fresh.
We first spoke with Ruby Clay in November after her daughter says a teacher at Hamilton yelled the N-word at her.
We're in a healing process. Things are still coming out. Feelings are still showing up.
Sabrina Madison, founder of the Progress Center for Black Women, hears from parents like Clay after incidents at schools.
It doesn't seem like to be a long amount of time before the next phone call or the next Facebook message or the next tag happens.
That buildup led them to organize a packed meeting at the Boys and Girls Club Saturday morning. No media allowed until after.
We ask people not to go on Facebook and quote people, not to go on Facebook Live. We wanted to have an authentic, honest conversation around how do we protect all of our kids, not just Black kids.
A safe place for parents like Clay to share their stories.
Like, I felt like, yes, like they hear us.
It was heartbreaking to hear the emotion of some of the parents, but I also was thankful to see there was a bunch of teachers
Parents and teachers spoke about finding change. Now leaders hope those words will lead to action.
How far are they willing to go, and to stay involved long term?
The Progress Center for Black Women is compiling suggestions from the meeting and will make them public. The Boys and Girls Club CEO, Michael Johnson, would like to send those suggestions to school districts around the area.
All right, thank you so much, Maddie. And of course, we are still waiting for video of that alleged fight that happened at Whitehorse Middle School between the teacher and the student. A Madison man who is accused of robbing a downtown Pizza Hut was charged in an indictment returned by a grand jury on Friday. 33-year-old Christian Killian allegedly robbed the Pizza Hut on South Park Street in late January. According to officials, Killian showed an employee a gun during the robbery. If convicted, Killian faces a mandatory minimum penalty of 5 years of charges of possessing a firearm during a crime of violence and a maximum of 20 years in prison on the robbery charge. Law enforcement engaged in a 45-minute standoff on I-90 near Sparta early this morning. The Monroe County Sheriff's Office says dispatch received information about a stolen vehicle from Marquette County in the early morning. A deputy saw the vehicle on I-90 and was able to stop it. Then the driver fired a single shot. After a 45-minute standoff, the driver was taken into custody. No one was hurt, but I-90 near exit 25 was shut down for about an hour. The University of Wisconsin-Madison fraternity is on suspension after being found Friday to have violated university rules against hazing of new members. The Alpha Sigma Phi chapter was suspended for pressuring members into wearing Dora the Explorer backpacks and carrying fruit around campus during the fall 2018 semester. The Committee on Student Organizations found the chapter to be in violation of the University Student Organization Code of Conduct, suspending it from all university activities through March 24th. Edgewood High School is moving forward with plans to install lights and a sound system in its athletic complex. In a letter sent to families, the Edgewood Board of Trustees said that they approved moving forward with formal applications for permits, allowing LED outdoor lighting and an upgraded amplified sound system. The school has tabled improvements that were initially proposed, such as increasing seating capacity, a ticket booth, and a concession stand. Many residents of the neighborhood have voiced their disapproval of the stadium improvements throughout the process. If approved, the outdoor lighting would be installed by this spring to accommodate spring athletics. This week, Madison police officers and local teens got to see sides of each other they typically don't see. The Youth Police Initiative brought the two groups together to learn about what it's like in each other's shoes and build trust. Participants got to develop their leadership and public speaking skills under the guidance of trainers while reflecting on past experiences and decision making.
Biggest takeaway, I think, is that reminder that while it's been a while since I've been a teenager, I do kind of remember those feelings. Yeah. So it was good to get a little bit of that back.
The Youth Police Initiative is part of the Northside Peace and Safety Program and concluded with a graduation ceremony earlier today. Since 2012, Good Shepherd Lutheran Church, along with the Madison community, have packed over 600,000 meals for kids and families in the neediest areas of the world. This week, the group added to that number. More than 1,500 people packed the Good Shepherd Lutheran Church in Verona as part of Feed My Starving Children. That nonprofit has been providing nutritionally complete meals for malnourished children for more than 3 decades. Volunteers of all ages hand-pack these meals on site, and the meals are then donated to food partners around the world.
Saving kids' lives, and we have food and we're very grateful, and we want to make sure that other people have the same food. And that fact that we're helping a lot of kids, it's even more fun.
With so many local groups, churches, and businesses signing up to help, organizers even went above and beyond last year's goal.
Last year we packed about 125,000 meals at this same event, and this year we set our goal to pack 272,000 meals. And we're definitely on pace for that, and I think we will meet our commitment as well as probably exceed it by a little bit.
They were worried the weather would keep people away, but luckily that was not the case today. Ahead at 6, have you been hit with the cold or flu but don't know which one it is? Consumer Reports breaks down the differences with one telltale sign to look for. The CDC says that it's not too late to get vaccinated, and there are medicines to treat it if you do get it, but how do you really know if you have the flu or just a nasty cold? Consumer Reports breaks down the differences with one sign to look out for. Here's Chris Lewinberg.
I don't think you can really tell between the cold or the flu.
With a cold, I don't have body chills. With the flu, I'm very achy.
When I have a cold, it's more of just like sneezing and coughing.
Nasty colds are never fun, but the flu can be much more serious. So how do you tell the difference? Consumer Reports says there's one sure thing to look for.
It hits you like a ton of bricks. So fast. It can come on in a few hours.
And you'll likely have these added symptoms: feeling feverish or having a fever, chills, muscle aches, and extreme tiredness. A cold has similar but milder symptoms: runny or stuffy nose, cold, sore throat, fatigue. But there is a difference.
It's still bearable. You can go to work and still have a cold.
With the flu, you really can't. You want to go to bed. You just feel like you can't move.
So what should you do if you suspect you have the flu? Consumer Reports says you may want to call your doctor and see if you're a candidate for antiviral medicine like Tamiflu or new antiviral on the market, Xofluza. Both work best if taken within 24 to 48 hours of getting symptoms and may shorten the duration of flu by 1 to 2 days. But Xofluza requires 1 dose, where Tamiflu requires you to take it twice a day for 5 days. And if you do have the flu,
do everyone a favor and call in sick.
I'm Chris Lewinberg, News 3 Now.
Keep in mind, both flu medicines are expensive. With a coupon, Tamiflu could cost you about $50, while Xofluza will run about $30 based on what your insurance company covers. Ahead on News 3 Now at 6, a special day for polar bears, how Nunick and Barrett are celebrating over at the zoo.
This wild weather weekend continues into Sunday. I'll let you know what to expect and some colder weather on the way for the start of the work week in your First Alert forecast in just a few minutes.
This winter.
Although Madison's temperatures aren't exactly Arctic today, polar bears are being celebrated. The International Polar Bear Day celebration at Henry Violet Zoo focused on what you can do to help polar bears out in the wild. Visitors could make a thumbprint pledge by pressing their thumbs against the glass of the polar bear enclosure and promising to do something to help out the Arctic bears, which can be as simple as using less energy.
Getting people to fall in love with these polar bears and to get to know a little bit more about them and to get to know some of our polar bears personally is a great way to inspire them to take some action. Grizzly bears are denning, so
Since polar bears do not hibernate, both Munich and Barrett, the zoo's resident polar bears, were basking in the extra attention today. Today's dreary weather didn't keep locals from celebrating one of Wisconsin's favorite beverages. The 22nd annual Bockfest at Capitol Brewery in Middleton drew a crowd to celebrate the tapping of the 6-time Platinum award-winning Capitol Blonde Doppelbock. The deep golden German-style lager is described as a malt monster and is on tap all day. All right, let's get a look at your first alert weather. Dave Caulfield has been following all the different chances for precipitation.
Yeah, I may need to open up a tab after this storm is over, Amanda, because we've just been through the ringer already today, and there's a lot more to come. As you take a look at Doppler track across the Midwest, we could see the next round of precipitation on the way. We've also seen some thunder snow across portions of Iowa and some thunderstorms starting to move in to southwestern Wisconsin. So the snow will affect areas to the north and west, but for us, some heavy rain, even some thunderstorms possible. We could be looking at some minor flooding as we head into the next few hours because the rain is falling on top of all the snow that's still on the ground. And take a look at everything that we have to deal with. We have an aerial flood advisory in effect until midnight for much of southern Wisconsin. Also a wind advisory for tomorrow when those winds pick up. We just had a dense fog advisory issued for us, and then that's not counting the winter weather advisory to the north and west, also winter storm and blizzard warnings farther to the north and west as well. So I mentioned that dense fog advisory. Fog values visibilities, that is, of about 1/4 of a mile or less are possible as we head into the overnight hours. The rain will actually give us a break from the dense fog over the next few hours. Wind speeds right now not too bad out of the east at about 8 to 15 miles per hour, but they will increase dramatically as we get into Sunday. Temperatures right now very important in a forecast like this, just above the freezing mark in Madison, and we're close to the freezing mark even to the south of us in Janesville at 34, Watertown at 33. Don't be surprised initially over the next hour or so if a little bit of freezing drizzle tries and mixes in with this rain, but it shouldn't really impact us all that much. The heavy rain could impact us later on tonight. In Madison on the WISC-TV Skycam, looking at mostly cloudy skies with some light rain falling. Similar story on the Edgewater Skycam, which looked really ominous about an hour ago, kind of a greenish tint to the sky, and we're looking at some green moving in over the next few hours on future track. Rain heavy at times, even a few thunderstorms possible for southern Wisconsin as temperatures move through the upper 30s. Then this rain will change over to snow overnight. Really won't affect us. That snow will not really not be a big deal as we head into tomorrow, but a little bit of accumulation is possible. Then we'll be partly sunny on Sunday, with the winds gusting of about 40 to 50 miles per hour and temperatures falling dramatically through the teens into the single digits, actually starting off Monday below zero in many spots. So we're not looking at any ice accumulation really, which is good news, but we could be looking at about 1/2 inch to 1 inch of rain just over the next 12 hours or so, which could cause some minor flooding concerns. Next comes the snow. Luckily, not talking about any major accumulation at all for much of southern Wisconsin, but look at those snow totals increase dramatically to the north and west. We could be talking about 6 to 12 inches of snow closer to Black River Falls. Look at these wind gusts by tomorrow afternoon and evening of about 45 to 50 miles per hour. That could cause some power outages if those winds are sustained for long enough. And then starting off Monday, feeling like about 10 to 25 below zero. So it's just on to the next thing. There's so many things to pay attention to in the weather world over the next 24 to 36 hours. 7 to 10 day forecast looking at a colder than normal start to the work week with temperatures in the teens Monday and Tuesday. A couple chances for light snow as we head into the week ahead, but nothing too major. Next weekend, though, we're eyeing that. A little bit too early to tell specifics, but we could be in for a similar situation as we head into next Saturday and Sunday.
A lot of stuff headed our way.
Yes.
Thank
so
you,
get
Dave.
ready.
The top 2 seeds in our area trying to punch a ticket to state. Highlights from the ice coming up next in sports. Well, it's the usual suspects at the WIA State Individual Wrestling Tournament. Stoughton looking for its 50th individual state champion. The action underway as we speak. Here's who we're keeping an eye on tonight. In 182, Shane Legal from River Valley looking for his 3rd straight title. Meanwhile, in 138, Hunter Lewis from Stoughton, and in 152, Kevin Miker from Middleton, both looking for their 2nds. Also in 220, Drew Hennessy from Iowa Grant Highland expected to win tonight, as well as Badger football commit Keanu Benton from Janesville Craig in 285. Well, the highlights later tonight on News 3 Now at 10. The WIA State Boys Hockey Tournament will be here in Madison starting Thursday at the Alliant Energy Center. But first, the sectional finals tonight. Top 2 seeds here, Sun Prairie and Verona at Hartmeyer. Wildcats coming out firing. Mac Kurlock here flings one into the back of the net. 1-0, Verona up first. They are amped. But the Cardinals would answer. Kyle Hagerman gets the deflection, lights the lamp within 2 minutes left in the first period, and we've got a tie game. To the second now, Walker Hassig getting the deflection this time, shoots and scores. Verona up 3-1 in the second period. Some more insurance for the Wildcats here. This time, Ryan Ritter with a shot right through the goalie's glove. And Verona beats Sun Prairie 5-3, the final score. They're heading to state next week. Opponent to be determined. The men's hockey team trying to finish its series at Penn State with a win. Right now, they're scoreless in the first period. This is the Badgers' final regular season series on the road. They finish up next week hosting Michigan at the Kohl Center. The Big Ten tournament less than a month away in Chicago. But first, the Badgers have got to finish this regular season strong, and the first of those final 5 games is tonight at Northwestern. Tip-off at 7:30 over on
on BTN. The Badgers beat the Wildcats pretty handily at the Kohl Center last month, but Northwestern has not won a game since then, and that was on January 26th. But head coach Greg Gard says their error of margin has been so small so that they'll not be underestimating them tonight.
We've been in a ton of close ones. We've had a lot go our way. They've been on the other end of some, but they've had, I think there's been 3, 4, 5 games that have had the game in doubt with the ball in the air in the last shot. So obviously they're competitive, doing good things defensively.
Elsewhere in the Big Ten today, Ohio State visiting 24th ranked Maryland Terps, keeping a steady lead, but Buckeyes catching up. Justin Arns, the 3, Ohio State down 2. Later, Bruno Fernando to Aaron Wiggins. He gets through the lane for the dunk. Maryland up 9, and they hang on to win 72-62. In the Big East, 11th ranked Marquette at Providence. First half action, Sakar Anim. Statement start here, the slam dunk. Golden Eagles up 8. Later in the second, it's raining 3, thanks to the Hauser brothers. Joey with a big one here. He had 15 points in the game. And then later, older brother Sam getting the ball from Brendan Bailey. Sam with 18 points in the game. Marquette wins 76-58, the final, guys. And we'll be keeping an eye, of course, on that Badger game. Highlights and posts later tonight.
All right, let's take a final look at weather.
Yeah, it may be raining 3s there, but it's raining something outside. We do have a little bit of freezing rain and regular rain showing up across southern Wisconsin as we head into tonight's temperatures in the 30s with some rain and thunderstorms.
All right, thanks so much for joining us. Have a great night.